Nazila, let's start with you.
I would like to take this opportunity and thank the U.S. government for the first time in 4 decades of a struggle of Iranian freedom seekers to establish a secular democracy. United States supports the Iranian people and repeatedly condemned human rights violations in Iran. Thank President Trump, and thank you, Secretary Pompeo, for his speech, and thank you, Mr. Biranhook, and all the team. God bless America, and God bless democratic Iran. Every morning I was going to school, we started the class with the slogans: death to America, death to Israel. Salute to Khomeini, may God reduce my longevity and add to his lifetime. While many representatives of regimes such as Javad Zarif were studying and living in America. Today, as our families are held hostages by the regime, the son of Zarif, Ebtekar, and others are living in the United States and easily take advantages of this great country. They are coming to Europe and United States with the mottos: White House must become the mosque, and Israel must remove from the world map to expand the Islamic revolution. But today, the Iranian people in Iran chants, America is not the enemy is right here. دشمن ما همینجاست، دروغ میگن آمریکاست. On 1980, it was a familial party, and all of a sudden, we were arrested by the Islamic Revolution agents with their heavy weapon, and my mother and the other women were arrested as well. Their crime was that the men and women were together. My mother was in a dark anger because the regime had just killed her son, 18 years old. She was shouting, Khomeini, the murder, death on you. I was crying, and I was only 8 years old. And I knew if my mother was taken away, she might be sentenced to death. A Basiji guy put his gun on my forehead and screamed, these kids that are growing up in the westernization must be killed. From my early childhood, I learned that we were at war with this brutal regime, and I started to be a soldier since today and will fight against this regime, Islamic fascist regime in Iran. The first time I was arrested, I was 15 years old. My crime was not obeying the Islamic way. 3 of my friends and we were taken to the prison. They were taken us to the cell of prostitutes and released for several hours. The women who looked at us as a prey. It was a few hours, but for us, it passed like months. I don't know how, but they knew that I was diagnosed as an ADHD child and that I had 15 years, and they injected me the drugs. And I was hospitalized for a year, and I couldn't go to the first year of my high school. Mitraz, my friend, they put her legs in a bag of crock rocks, and we were screaming. She was admitted to a psychological hospital for 6 months. Then her parents tried to get her out of Iran, but before she committed suicide. And last November, we saw Nikta Esfandiari was shot in the head by security forces on last November, and she had just 14. This story continued until I worked for the Ministry of Agriculture and after my high school. In rural development, women with no jobs, and we were trying to provide them with opportunities to work, but they had to be educated before. They had a job that a woman should work and why she would work in society. It's not just about tailoring for a woman, and it's not a problem for a woman to work alongside men and build a community together. I was also arrested during a speech I have gave to rural women near Hamadan in the west of Iran for the propagation of Western culture for the woman. After the disaster that happened in Kuye Daneshgah, the students' movement after Khatamis, that Ahmed will describe this sad history better than me. I was fired from the university for a year, and then I left Iran to France. Since after the Green Movement and the movement in 2017, despite the killings, oppression of the people in Iran and the persecution of our families and friends in Iran, we continued this struggle. However, November protests in Iran was different from other protests. This uprising has a message from the Iranian people, a religious slogan never heard in the streets. Protesters all together showed solidarity against the Islamic regime. The Islamic regime has tried to tell the world that the imposed sanctions are a maximum pressure on the Iranian people. They said that the Iranian people are hungry. The reformists called this protest on 2017, they called it the revolutionary of a hungry. But these hungry people in November did not shoplift a supermarket. No food was stolen. Banks, Revolutionary Guards stations, and Supreme Leader offices set on fire. The Friday Imam offices has burned. The Islamic Seminary for Women in Isfahan set on fire. November 2019 was Iranian Renaissance. The Iranian people have shown the world that they are more thirsty than hungry. They are thirsty for dignity, for freedom, and humanity. Political Islam, which began in Egypt a century ago and officially recognized by establishing Islamic government in Iran in 1979, has lost its legitimacy by the Iranian, Iraqis, and Lebanon people. We have witnessed the collapse of Nazi fascism, apartheid South Africa, Soviet communism in the last century, and today, in the future, we will put an end to political Islam and to this Islamic regime in Iran with people of Iran, also solidarity with the people of Iraq and Lebanon. In the name of all people who were killed in prison for freedom, for the dignity and peace in Iran, we call, with my friends here, we call upon the leaders of the United States and the free world to support the struggles of the people of Iran against this kleptocratic, theocratic regime. And through the strong and firm actions, the following. The access of Iranian government to satellite by any sort of service must be disconnected. This will create immediate problem for banking services in Iran and also will stop the Islamic regime's anti-dissident propaganda from reaching Iranian cities and villages. The Islamic Republic of Iran Broadcast, IRIB, and its affiliates, which holds a state monopoly on broadcast news within Iran, must ban from operating in the free world. The Iranian ambassadors, we hope, the Iranian ambassadors in Europe must be summoned, questioned, and admonished over brutal violations of human rights against Iranian citizens and dismissed to return to Iran. In the end, I just want to talk about Ershad Rahmanian. Today is his birthday, 28th birthday. He was blessed in last November in Kurdistan, and then they have arrested him from hospital, and they have broken his legs, his hands, and they put him in the dam in Kurdistan, and their parents found him, it's about last week. And today is his birthday. I wanted that just we think about every Iranian that they were killed in Iran. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.